Hello, welcome to the Lululoves Crochet Podcast, episode 11. My name is Emma and this is my podcast all about crochet and books and TV and anything else I've been making or enjoying. Firstly, I want to apologise if you hear pug snores throughout this video. It's so dark today, I've really struggled finding somewhere to film. So I'm back in the kitchen, but Ted's asleep in his bed and making all sorts of noises. I can't do anything about that, sorry. Also, I would just like to say thank you to everyone who entered the favourites giveaway. I will draw that at the end of the podcast because I know not everyone entered and not everyone's interested. So I will do that today at the end. There were some really lovely favourites. Really beautiful. So if you want some inspiration, go and look at that video and look at the comments. I hope you've all been well. We've been well. We did actually have some snow here down in the southwest after I was moaning. We hadn't had any. The children actually ended up having 2 days off school, which sort of threw me a bit really because you'd think I'd have got lots done, but you know, they were in and out and we sort of ran out of hats and gloves and clothes. They're just coming in soaking all the time, so but it was good fun. So I don't have too much to show you by the way of crochet today. I only have one finished object and a couple of works in progress to show you, so it may be a fairly short podcast, we'll see. I will crack straight on with my first finished object, and actually I'm just looking at it and I've seen an end. I don't know how I do it really. Anyway, the finished item I have to show you is the top I was making for my eldest daughter, the granny square top. So I'll just try and hold it so you can have a look. I'm really happy with it. There's not really much to say about it. I just really made it up as I went along. The only thing that was quite funny is I thought I'd measured her correctly. I can't remember if I used the tape measure or not. Maybe I just used my, super sort of senses, which always turn out wrong. But she tried it on, it just fell right off her shoulders. So I ended up having to decrease quite sort of rapidly in the border, which is just made up of double crochet. So I worked something, I then measured her and decreased to what I thought was right. And again, it was still slopping a bit. So I then went in with another row of decreases just to get it snug on her. And it actually does, it fits nice. But you can see it's got almost like a scoop neck now. So it does sort of sit as a bardo, but you can also just hold it slightly higher up on the shoulder. Anyway, it looks really pretty. I can't wait to see her wear it. She has tried it on, but I haven't really taken any photos because it's just been so cold. I will try and get some for the podcast and insert them. And I'm going to enter that one into the Zines and Rogers Granny Cow. I'll have to figure out how to do that. I think that's on Ravelry. So I think Rosina had extended it to the 19th of March. So I might just get in there if I get myself sorted. So that's my only finished item. But it was such a nice project to work on. I do still really enjoy working granny squares. I know lots of people, aren't really keen on granny squares, but I'm still in love with them. So the next is a work in progress, excuse me. And this is an idea I had for another jumper. Since I made my Diamonds and Bobbles jumper, I've had loads of ideas for jumpers, and I haven't really had time to, experiment with any of them. Well, I was inspired by another jumper. I'll tell you more about that if the jumper's successful, what inspired it. But so far I've been working on really just getting the colours right and the chevrons. I'll just show you, that might be easier. Still attached. So this is the start of a jumper that I'm working on. Just try and move that up so you can see all the colours. Can you see those lovely colours? I wasn't sure about the yellow. I did put a photo on Instagram. I've been working with neutrals for so long now. I mean, it's been my comfort zone for probably about 9 months. Every now and then that's where I always go back to. That's where I feel most comfortable, really. I'm always really inspired by the bright, colourful projects. But yeah, for some reason, I just tend to always go back to the neutrals. Anyway, so I've popped in a bit of yellow, and it's not even a mustard. It's a bright yellow. I'll show you the ball, it might be easier. There we go. It really is a golden yellow. The yarn that I'm using is, I've written it down, hang on. It is Willow and Lark, and it's their Woodland Tweed. It's a DK weight yarn. It has lots of different colours pulling through it. It might be better to show you a different colour. So this is the purple. You can see the specks of blue and yellow. It really is beautiful yarn. And then this cream one has got flecks of yellow. So I ordered a couple of different colours and swatches. Here's a colour that I've chosen not to use for this project. This is like a grey blue really, but it's got flecks again of that yellow and brown. It's really beautiful. It is 50% merino, 25% alpaca and 25% viscose. It's actually, it is a little bit itchy, and it's quite, you won't be able to see I don't think, but it's quite fluffy. I mean, hairy. I'd say hairy more than fluffy. Can you see that? I'm not sure I would be able to wear, I mean, it's not bad. I'm not sure I'd be able to wear it close to my skin. I don't know, I'm quite sensitive. I'm not sure about this one. The only other thing about it is, I'm not sure if it was just one ball in particular. I think it might have been, I can't remember which one it was. But every now and then, I would come across something quite sharp in the yarn, like a little bit of, and I would have to sort of pick it out. It was almost like, if you've got a feather pillow or something like that, and occasionally you get jabbed with one of the ends of the feathers. It was almost like that, really. I haven't encountered it much, but I think one particular ball had a few little sharp bits in, which I just picked out. They weren't very big. I can't feel anything in there. Anyway, really what drew me to the yarn was the colours. I had in mind for this jumper a very particular set of colours that I wanted, with this sort of pale, this is almost like a pinky, lilac-y, and then the purple, the grey, the yellow, mixed in with a cream. And I really wanted to use, the same brand of yarn for the jumper. So that was I really picked the yarn based on the colours, and they are absolutely stunning colours. So, but I've just finished one side of the jumper, and again, it's not going to be as big as the Diamonds and Bobbles, but it is going to have a dropped shoulder. So, it won't be a fitted jumper. So I've just started working on the second side. I'm just trying to figure out neck placement and decreases and things like that. So I really enjoy it, and I just want to be working on this all the time, but I can't, sadly. I've got other things I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm looking forward to wearing it. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do the sleeves in one colour or carry the chevron pattern on yet. I'll work all that out, and I will have good fun doing it. So that is a work in progress, and the last work in progress, there's not really much to show you. So I did work on it. Again, I'm attached. I've got 2 balls attached to it. Not sure how I've done that. Anyway, this is what looks to be a big frilly tablecloth. It is not a big frilly tablecloth. It is actually supposed to be a market bag. Now, I found this a chart for this on Pinterest. And it was one of those Japanese charts, and it was for a small market bag. I mean, probably a bag, there we go, about that big. Anyway, that's no good for me. I don't go to the shop and just buy 1 or 2 apples, you know. I shop significantly. So I worked out the repeats and made it bigger. But now I'm not sure if, you know, because I've made the circumference of the circle so big, obviously I've nearly finished this sort of pineapple bit, so it's only going to be right at the bottom of the bag, and then it just goes into sort of chain stitches. I'm not sure if it will look funny. I'm not even sure. I mean, I would have normally, when I've made bags, you know, they start looking like bags, but this just looks like a flat piece of fabric. So anyway, really the reason I started it was because I had a couple of balls of the cotton left from Kyra's top. So I just thought, well, I'll have a go at that, and I probably would have had enough if I'd stuck to that small bag. So I think I'm going to have to buy some more cotton now, because I've only got a tiny bit left, and I think I'm just going to have to keep going with it and see if it does actually turn into a bag. Teddy, thank you. But it is beautiful. I mean, if not, that would make a really lovely sort of table centre, I suppose. So I'm not too worried that it won't work out. Anyway, that's the last work in progress that I've got to show you. I have got another couple of projects on the go, actually. Although one of them I wasn't sure if I'm allowed to talk to you about yet, because it's for someone else. So I might have to show that in the next podcast. And that's it, really. Those are the main things I'm working on. I'm not sure how much more I'll do on this. I've got to order some more yarn for it. And yeah, that's about it for the crochet, really. Like I said, not too much to show you. Although I'm pleased with what I have managed to do, considering the children have been home and we've had lots of things on, parents' evenings, school trips. You know, it seemed to be one of those fortnights where you feel like you're busy all the time, but actually you look back and you haven't achieved very much. That's how I felt. But, you know, that's life, isn't it? So I will show you. I actually haven't bought anything, really. I did buy, we went to the Tiger store in Bath, and I did buy a load of crafting materials for Lulu for Easter. So I thought I might do a blog post on, you know, some Easter crafts for children and that. And there were a couple of balls of wool in there as well for some sort of pom-pom projects. I've not brought them out to show you. Maybe I'll show those next time, or I'll just put them on the blog post. I'm not sure yet. So I have bought some little bits and pieces. So the only thing I have bought recently are these little pins from Harbour Crochet. I'll see if I can get close enough to show you. Oh, they're so sweet. They actually say in the knuckles, yarn over. I don't think you're going to be able to see those. They're beautiful. And like I said, they're by Harbour Crochet. She's got an Etsy store. I'll link it below. She had put a picture of these on her Instagram. And oh, I just love them. I went straight over and ordered a set. I don't actually have a project bag or anything like that to put these lovely pins on. I think maybe I might make something. I don't know. They're so beautiful though. I'm trying not to get addicted to pins, but I noticed in the Betsy Makes podcast, she had been ordering some pins as well. Oof. So it might be there are more pins in my future. I don't know. I wonder if I don't know if I can take them off. That's just not focusing at all, is it? Oh, they're beautiful. Pop over and have a look either at her Etsy or her Instagram. You'll see. She also does really lovely sock, like hand-dyed yarns and I think sock kits that looked really nice. But I resisted. So and that's it really. I haven't bought any yarn. I haven't, I've been very good. I did buy a couple of new books. I will show you those. Well, I'm still reading The Comet Seekers, and this is a really, really beautiful book. Only 100 or so pages in. I haven't actually been reading that much recently. I think I've just been so tired. I've been sort of flaking out, but it's beautiful. It really is. Obviously I haven't finished it, so I can't really comment on how good it is, but it flicks backwards and forwards in time with the comets and it's sort of following one family or two families that are sort of linked. It's beautiful. So far I'm really enjoying that. It's not a page turner, but there's something about it that I'm enjoying. And the other book that I couldn't help buy was this one. This one's called, I don't know how you can see that, The Wicked Cometh. And it's by Laura Carlin. It says a novel of darkest London. I'll read you the blurb. It says, the year is 1831. Down the murky alleyways of London, acts of unspeakable wickedness are taking place, and no one is willing to speak out on behalf of the city's vulnerable poor as they disappear from the streets. Out of these shadows comes Hester White, a bright young woman who is desperate to escape the slums by any means possible. When Hester is thrust into the world of the aristocratic Brock family, she leaps at the chance to improve her station in life under the tutelage of the fiercely intelligent and mysterious Rebecca Brock. But whispers from her past slowly begin to poison her new life, and both she and Rebecca are lured into the most sinister of investigations. Hester and Rebecca find themselves crossing every boundary they've ever known in pursuit of truth, redemption, and passion. But their trust in each other will be tested as a web of deceit begins to unspool, dragging them into the blackest heart of a city where something more depraved than either of them could ever imagine is lurking. Oof. That looks really, really good. I can't wait to read that, but I'm going to finish The Comet Seekers first and then read that. And isn't that beautiful? Look at that. And inside. Lovely. Really, really looking forward to that. So I did buy that. I did say I wouldn't buy any more books, but I couldn't help myself. And then I just thought I'd show you these little books that I found in Tesco's of all places the other day. And they just reminded me of my childhood so much. So I bought a handful of Lulu, and I'll probably give them to her for Easter, but they are these little Treasure Cove stories. Does anyone remember these little Disney books? You sort of collect them. I mean, already there must be like 100 books in this series, but they're just adorable. And the illustrations, so I got her the Lucky Puppy, And I also just got her a couple of the classics, Snow White. And again, they are the proper Disney illustrations, look. Lovely. And I also bought her Peter Pan. You know, these are all stories that she's read and been read, but I just thought she's, you know, these are the type of books that, you know, they're condensed enough that she can read them herself now. And oh, I just love all those lovely illustrations. They reminded me so much of the books, the Disney books from when we were younger. And they just went on and on. Anyway, these books were £2 each in Tesco's. So I don't know if it's something that they're going to keep doing, but there are absolutely loads in this series. So if you've got children, or even as a little gift, aren't they lovely? I couldn't help myself. So I bought those, and I'll save them and give them as a gift to her. And I think that's about all I have to talk to you about. Television. I will tell you what I've been watching recently, and it's a series. Oh, excuse me, I'll put those out of the way. It's a series called 7 Seconds on Netflix. I'm only about 4 episodes in. It's about a 15-year-old boy, African-American boy, who gets knocked off his bike by an off-duty police officer, a white off-duty police officer, and he gets, well, it's a hit and run basically, and the police sort of cover it up, and he gets left out there, and he eventually passes away. But it leads to, the case leads to a lot of racial tension, and in the city, it's based in Jersey City, and there's a lot of drug activity and gangs, and you know, it's really gritty. It's a really gritty drama. And it's so good, and it's got the actress Regina. I wrote it down. Regina King. She plays the boy's mother. She is amazing. I mean, I think she should win an award for acting in that, because her grief is so raw. It is very, very good, and they're really fighting to find out what happened to him, and you know, the police are trying to sort of say that he was a member of a gang, and sort of belittling, I suppose, his death, really. And you know, I suppose, you know, it's called 7 Seconds, so I'm assuming that, you know, that's as long as it took to make the decision to leave the boy. And you know, it's really about, you know, I suppose, is it an accident? Because it was an accident, but then if you deny responsibility for that accident, it's no longer an accident, is it? I mean, there can't be anything worse to lose a child in that way. Well, I'm sure there are lots of things worse, but you know what I mean. Anyway, it's really, really good. I'm really getting into it. I can only really watch an episode at a time because it's quite dark, and there are some scenes that are a little bit unpleasant, especially, I mean, it's not overly violent or anything, but it's a bit hard-hitting in places, but it's really good. So if you're looking for a new series, definitely check it out. And the other thing I've been enjoying, well, I'm not sure I'm really enjoying it, but I saw that Charlotte on the Betty magazine had been using this app called Moment. It looks like this, and what it does is it tracks your mobile phone usage. Now, I do a lot on my mobile phone. You know, I also check emails, I watch podcasts, I use it for recipes for dinner, but I'm also aware that I am picking up my phone a lot at the moment, and you know, it's a bit distracting. So of course, I'm always telling the children off for being on their gadgets, and it seems I'm not really setting a very good example. So what it does is you give it permission to sort of track your app use and that, and then at the end of the day, it tells you how long you've been on your phone. Look, I'm in the green at the moment because so far today I've only used my phone for 1 hour, 13 minutes. I mean, it's only midday. I mean, how I even managed that, I don't know. And I will, and then what you can do is, so there's Tuesday there. I was on for 4 hours, 40 minutes. And if you click on that, it is quite funny really. It goes through and it tells you, so look, I picked up my phone for the first time at 8:10. At 8:30 I was on it for 22 minutes. Then not again until 10:45, but another half an hour. And it also tells you when you picked your phone up. So I again picked it up at 12:30, only for 6 minutes. And then, you know, you can see when you're most, and it almost is every hour I'm picking up my phone, right down, and then it tells me that my battery died at 7:10, so I left it until 8:30. And then, right the way, look at that. I was on it 20 minutes before bedtime, and then I was on it for an hour. Wow, 56 minutes at 10:45 Tuesday night. Now, the reason for that is that Lindsay of Lottie and Albert put up a new podcast, and I watched I watched it in bed. So, Lindsay, I'm blaming you for that. But it's quite an eye-opener. So I think, I've only had the app for 3 days, and already Monday I was on my phone for 3 hours 44 minutes. Tuesday 4 hours 40. Thank you, Lindsay. And I thought I'll track my normal use, and then I will look at cutting back using my phone, because 4 hours, that's incredible, really. You think what I could have achieved in those 4 hours. So anyway, that app's called Moment. So if you think you have a problem picking up your phone a lot, it also will tell you what apps you use the most. I think mine probably are Instagram, to be honest with you. Maybe emails, I don't know really. It would be interesting to find out anyway. So if you are trying to cut back on your phone usage, that might be one to have a look at. And I think that is everything I have to say today. While I'm mentioning Lottie and Albert, if you haven't already, pop over and have a look at her latest podcast, because her and her friend Jen were running the Little Hearts for Grace cow, and I think Lindsay has spent the past couple of months sewing all the squares to make 3 amazing blankets for charity. They're beautiful, and I think she was feeling a little bit down because she couldn't raffle them online. So if you haven't already had a look, go and send her a bit of love for those, because she's done an amazing job. Well, they both have. They're for amazing charities. So it's just really lovely, isn't it, when everyone comes together to create something. So yes. Oh, I've got to do the giveaway. There I go, in my own world. Okay, so I will quickly pull up a winner for the favourites giveaway. I'll get the random generator up here. I've written down again the names of everyone who left a comment on the previous video, and numbered them, one being the first comment left, and so on. So let's have a look. There were 103 comments. So 103. Generate. Here we go. And the winner is 41, which is, should I show you that properly? 41, which is Funky 40 Podcast. Congratulations, you have won the bundle of favourites. I will leave my email address below. If you can email me with your address and let me know which of the patterns you want, whether you want the diamonds and bobbles jumper or the courtship shawl. So well done. There were some really, really beautiful favourites actually, from lots of new babies, grandchildren. So congratulations to everyone that's got a new member of your family. They really are the most precious moments. I can't think of a better favourite than that really, but lots of books, some yarn. Loads of people have been finding new podcasts. What else was there? lots of people enjoying coffee and podcasts. Now that's one I can relate to. People are opening Etsy shops. There was some yarn, like I said, lots of book recommendations as well. So go and check out the comments if you want to feel inspired. I certainly have taken some notes for some books. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now because I've just heard my husband come in the back door and he's been very polite and waiting and waiting out there for me. So I will see you again in a couple of weeks. Take care. Bye.